Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Ajone Anime, and today we're gonna talk about Beastars. Beastars is, I think we all know, we've all watched it by now, we all know what it is. It's an anime adaptation of a manga written by Paru Itagi, and it was taken up by Studio Orange or Orange Studio, and it ran in the winter of 2019, October to December, for 12 episodes. And then, Netflix took it up for Western distribution, and that's how we were all blessed with the anime of Beastars. And I want to talk about how it ranks in the genre of coming of age and slice of life. For me, this is like all opinion, my opinion. I think Beastars does a really good job of tackling coming of age and slice of life and teenage angst, and it just does a really good job. And for me, why I'm gonna talk about that right now. It's just that you take teenagers who are animals. They're anthropomorphized. Anthropomorphized. I think that's the word. I think that's how you pronounce it. You take animals and you anthropomorphize them. And before we get into that, let's talk about the art. They did a really good job of drawing them as humans. They didn't make it weird, they didn't make it creepy, they didn't make it like a furry fantasy. But yeah, you take some teenagers and then you give them the added hurdle of being carnivores and herbivores, and then you make them live together. And for the world building, I don't understand why they're not segregated. Like, why don't the herbivores and carnivores live separate lives? What's the point of pretending that carnivores don't eat meat? Like, the black market is like some big open secret and everybody know about it, but they just don't talk about it. So I don't know what's the point of pretending like that doesn't happen. Why don't they just live separate lives and just try their best not to why don't the herbivores just try their best not to be around them, you know? But anyways, you have this really strange world, and then you have teenage carnivores battling their instincts. It's like raging hormones for regular teenagers, you know? Darn those raging hormones! So yeah, like, they have that, and it's just a weird world. And it's like, it focuses on Legoshi and him and his battle with his instincts, because he wants to eat this rabbit, but he ends up falling in love with her. He's such a sad boy. And it just follows him and the whole mess that it is. So I think they take all of these problems that are unique to the Beastars world, and they do a really good job with it. My favorite scenes that highlight how they handled the genre and all of that are, well, the first scene is the fight between Legoshi and Bill. Rui broke his leg and had to sit it out, and Bill had to be I think he was the hero. Yeah, he was the hero and Legoshi was the villain. And they were fighting, and Bill said he doesn't have to hold back now. He's glad he's fighting a carnivore so he can go full strength. And Legoshi's mad at Bill. He was mad at Bill prior because Bill had taken rabbit's blood, which is like drugs. And you can't have a show about teenagers without drugs for some reason. So yeah, he's fighting Bill, and in that instance he's just fighting himself because he's mad. He's mad that Bill does what he wants to do, basically. And it's like, he sees parts of himself in Bill that he doesn't like, and he has to fight Bill for it. He's just like, you know what, I don't like you because you remind me of myself. It's like looking in the mirror and hating everything you see. And that's why he was so angry with Bill. And then, Bill got the upper hand, and Bill said to him, "You think you're the perfect carnivore, don't you?" Legoshi hates himself after Bill says that, because he just wished he wasn't a carnivore. He wished he didn't have to suppress himself. He didn't have to pretend that he was going to lose fights. Because if you watch it, Legoshi spends all of his time trying to be smaller. He even, in one scene, he was trying to figure out how to lose a fight because he didn't want to intimidate anybody. He knew that he could easily crush someone if he went full strength, full power. Full strength, full power. But he spends a lot of time just trying to fit in. That really highlighted the internal struggle that was going on in Legoshi, even though like the whole thing is his internal struggle. But that was a really good scene that made you feel like, yeah, this is definitely a coming of age anime, like realizing your flaws, realizing that they live within other people, realizing that this is who you are, even if you hate it, this is who you are. The black market scene where Abba and Legoshi are after the black market scene where Abba and Legoshi are at the train station, and Abba says he just wants to figure himself out and stand on his own 2 feet because he can't eat meat because his friends are herbivores, and every time he thinks about eating meat he thinks about his friends, and he just can't do that. And that I understand. Like, can you imagine your friend your friend is like, I don't know, a gazelle and you're a lion, and you're just like, you're hungry, like you know that you want to eat meat, and you know that you'd prefer to be eating gazelle instead of soy, but you just eat soy because looking at actual meat would make you sick, would make you feel bad, because this gazelle is your friend. This gazelle could have been your friend. Herbivores are people, not food. I think that's something that the carnivore kids in Beastars have to live with. They know they want to eat it, but they can't because they're people too. Like, they did a really good job with handling the carnivore's instincts and how they know they want to eat meat, but they try their best not to, because herbivores are friends and they see them as people. They don't just see them as meat. And then I want to talk about Rui's perfectionism and how underneath his layer of perfectionism is just unhinged madness. I think it's because he has a lot on his shoulders and he's seen the dark side of carnivores and how carnivores can be, and he has to pretend like he doesn't know that, the bad side of carnivores, and he knows how they can be, and he has to pretend like that's not what it is, because in Rui's mind carnivores are just like 2 seconds away from eating you and falling into their instincts, and he truly believes that because that's how he grew up and that's what he saw. But here he is, the adopted son of a prestigious family, and he has to be perfect. No one knows he's adopted, so he has to be the perfect son, the perfect bred there. He struggled with his perfectionism so much that he can't allow people to see him without his antlers. You know, they shed their antlers, and he can't even allow people to see him without his antlers, because then he won't be Rui. I don't know his last name. I don't know if they said it, but if they did, I don't know it. But he can't be, the great Rui, Beastars candidate, and the son of the prestigious family. That he's struggling with that because he has to keep it in. He has to keep it in for all the herbivores that don't know the truth. He has basically the weight of all the herbivores on his shoulders, and that's a lot of responsibility to put on a kid. Granted, he's 18, but that's a lot of pressure to put on an 18-year-old, and I think that's unfair to him. The black market is an open secret. I don't know why they pretend like it's not there. Everybody knows it's there. So we want to talk about how Rui performed on a broken leg for 2 days. That just adding to evidence for his perfectionism is he knew his leg was broken from the night they were practicing, and he had fallen and broken his leg, and him didn't know, and he just went, you know what, the people are depending on me to show them that herbivores are strong too, and they can be strong and they can unite people and blah blah blah. So he decided to perform on a broken leg for 2 days, and then he passed out. And when he woke up, the first thing he said was, "Did people see me pass out?" He's like, "Did people see me pass out? How did the crowd go? How did the crowd see this?" Because he can't show any weakness. If he shows weakness, what is the point of his life? Why is he living? His whole life is to be a beacon for herbivores, to show them that they can be strong too. And if he shows weakness, they're gonna doubt themselves, and they can't doubt themselves, because the minute you start to doubt yourself, a carnivore is gonna swoop in and eat your ass. So that's how he lives his life. Then we have Haru, and she's a promiscuous rabbit, which I think is like, oh, that's kind of funny, like rabbits like to have sex, blah blah blah. But she's a promiscuous rabbit, but her reason for her promiscuity is because she wants to feel like a person. because she doesn't feel like anyone sees her as a person. Everybody sees her as this tiny little rabbit that needs to be taken care of, and she just won't feel normal. And then when she's dying, of course, like when she's dying, she realized that Legoshi's the only one that ever saw her as a person, and he's the one that loves her truly. So she decides that, like, in that moment when she's dying, when it's basically worthless, she decides that, you know what, I love Legoshi too. And I know he's been trying to get me to love him from day one, and I've been in love with Rui, who is just using me and is going to throw me on the side. I, in my dying moments, really love Legoshi because he was the only one who saw me as I am. He saved her because obviously 17-year-old boys can face the mafia and win single-handedly. Like, that's not unrealistic at all. That's how it works. You can do anything with the power of love. He didn't kill anyone though, because he's still struggling with his instinct and killing, and I don't know why he's so averse to it. I really want to know what his backstory is. I wish they gave us some Legoshi backstory, but we're probably gonna get that in season 2. That's scheduled for June 2021. So we'll see. I hope we get some backstory. I want to know why he's so in his shell and he's so afraid. I mean, apart from scaring the herbivores and all of that, I just want to know why. I just want to know. And another world building question that I have for Beastars and the creators, like, I doubt they'll see this, but if they do, I need to know, or if anyone who's read the manga and like knows the answer to this, they can answer me in the comments. But what's their global warming situation like? I know that's like completely like Johnny, where did you get that from? Instead of eating meat, the carnivores eat soy. So if you didn't know, soy takes a ton of water and a ton of land to grow, and it's actually very, very taxing on the environment. And I just want to know what their global warming situation is like, because if they eat soy on such a large scale, they probably have no forests. If we're imagining Beastars took place on Earth, they don't have any poles left. Not like we have any poles left, but they wouldn't, because of how much soy they eat. And then they'd have a water there's just so many like world building questions that I do have. Why is it okay for them to eat eggs? That's weird to me. The fact that the chicken sell their egg, that's weird to me. But overall, I enjoyed Beastars. If I were to give it a rating, like out of 5, it'd probably be like a 3. Or I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I wouldn't give it 5 stars. It's good, but it's not like amazing. Anyways, it was pretty good. It made some points. Beastars made some points, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It took me 2 days to watch it, but it's only 12 episodes, so that's like 6 episodes per day. But yeah, tell me what you think about Beastars below. Did you enjoy it? What do you think about the world building? What do you think about the characters? How much do you give it out of 5? And I'm excited for season 2. I'm actually interested to see what would happen in season 2, especially because of the cliffhanger they left us on at the end of season 1. I'm not interested enough to read the manga, but I'm interested enough to wait to see what happens next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of those things, and stay tuned for my next video, which should be about Tower of God. So bye.